Hello Scorpio, I am Poetic Heretic, and this is your February 2017 Tarot Forecast. Do remember you can use these videos for your sun, rising, and moon signs. So let us begin. You begin the month with the Page of Wands reversed. This card reflects your current outside influences at the beginning of the month. Now the Page of Wands reversed is a card of feeling inhibition, of feeling burdened, heavy responsibilities. It can even be an end of freedom or like a lack of freedom. Like you're not feeling very free, you're not feeling like you're able to express yourself completely, you're not feeling spontaneity, like you're feeling like you can't express yourself naturally and go with the flow of inspiration and feelings of spontaneity, more or less. And we'll get into the where that's coming from more as we go here. For what may help or hinder you, you have the King of Cups. Now, I did pull it reversed, although it is horizontal as the what may help or hinder card. But when we look at the reversed meanings, it's like saying that feeling insensitive, cold, indifferent, feeling blocked emotion, overly materialistic, and those kinds of emotional issues in general will really hinder you significantly this month. And also like a lack of or a loss of faith in yourself, of belief in yourself and in your ideals. And it's interesting because this month you really can go in two very different directions depending on how in alignment with the more positive meanings of this card you are or are not. It could basically it can go very, very well, or it can go not so well, and we'll get more into that. But basically, it's like saying the challenge for you this month will to be able to maintain a belief in yourself and in your ideals and in what is important to you, your values, what you believe in. Letting your emotions flow naturally, having healthy emotional well-being, being in alignment with the natural flow and harmony of emotion. And to expand on that a bit more, I'm also seeing a lot in the cards in general here about creativity and being artistic, letting that kind of energy flow, the feeling of creativity and imagination and vision, that kind of energy and the energy of idealism and stuff like that, that will be the kind of state you want to be in to really, really, really help you have a good month this month, basically. So keep that in mind, and I'm probably going to keep referring to this card throughout the spread because of its significance. For your underlying energy, you have the Fool reversed. This is again talking more about the feelings of heaviness and being weighed down. It's also a fear of change. But like when the Fool is upright, it's feeling very light, feeling very little weight on you. Like in the picture there, he's carrying very little, but when he's reversed, it's feeling heaviness, burdened, weighed down, like you feel like you can't express yourself fully. You feel too burdened, too many responsibilities, the energy of taking life too seriously. And so, it really goes right along with the Page of Wands reversed here. It also indicates, or it can indicate at least, the need for order and structure. Now, for some of you, it will be that. For others, it could be that you've actually had too much order and structure, and that might actually be part of the problem. And of course, only you can tell which it is. But that brings us to our next card, the Queen of Pentacles, for the past and issues you've had to deal with. Now, when this card shows up here, it is issues around order and structure. It can be that it's almost an obsession with time and rules and working. Like, this is, when we interpret this card in a darker sense or a more negative sense, it's like a workaholic card. Someone who works too much and probably basically ends up working themselves into exhaustion. Someone who's too materialistic, who's cold and indifferent, and has like a hardness to them, not flowing, not being emotional, and even it can be like cynicism. But so it is possible that you might have too much order and structure, and you might need to try to release some of that. Like, again, with the Fool card, when it's reversed, it's advising you to focus on the upright meanings, which means to feel lighter, a lightening of the load, to feel more free, to feel more ease in your life, to focus on that and try to allow that, basically. Now, the Queen of Pentacles, when she shows up here in the issues section, can also refer to issues around the home and family and finance and safety and security. You may be feeling that, like, around your home or with those close to you, a sense of like insecurity, or you may have felt that in the past, in the recent past or not so recent past. The sense of like insecurity and the loss of safety and security that you're used to or were used to having, that you usually associate with a strong, stable home, more or less. Now, we should also keep in mind here, we've gone through 3 court cards already, and they're the only ones in this whole spread, but still, they're showing up early on. Remember that, first of all, with the Page of Wands reversed, this could be also a young fire sign who causes you some trouble early in the month. Could be a child, could be like a young adult, like in their 20s perhaps, who causes you some trouble early in the month. Now, the King of Cups, this, well, first of all, it could refer to you, Scorpio, because it would be a water sign, but the King of Cups could be an adult male water sign in your life that is either going to help you or be an obstacle to you this month. And then finally, with the Queen of Pentacles, an adult female earth sign who you might have had some trouble with in the past and might still be a negative factor influencing what you've got going on in the present. And so, it could be all 3 of those, it could be none of those, or it could be some of those, just some possible people to watch out for, to keep in mind. So, for the next card, what you hope to achieve, the 4 of Wands. This is your hoping to restore order and safety and security around your home, around your money, around business. This is a card all about harmony and happiness in the home and family. Notice it's a 4, and that's Cancer, which is all about the home and family. It's also saying that you want to, you feel like you want time to take out from probably working a lot. You want more time to relax and enjoy yourself, time to be lazy, time to enjoy the rewards for your hard work, time to enjoy your success. You want to achieve success, you want to achieve attainment, and you want to achieve happiness, and you want to achieve things feeling all right, more or less. And if you haven't been in a state of having too much like rule fixation and like almost obsession with schedules and stuff like that, if instead you've been feeling more chaotic, this could be, again, like with the full reverse down here, your desire for a fixed, predictable plan, a solid plan of action for your success. So a couple of possibilities here to keep in mind. But, it's good that this card even shows up, more or less, that this is what's on your mind, because it's like saying, if it's on your mind, that makes it that much more likely that you're going to achieve it anyway, that you're going to achieve that happiness and that improvement over some of the heavy burdens that you may have been feeling. For the near future, we have the Seven of Cups. This is basically where the path really starts to split, depending on the choices that you make early in the month. If you follow the advice of the King of Cups and you allow your emotional well-being and your positive emotional expression and communication, then this is a very positive card, and it's talking about feelings of kindness and generosity and love and understanding. It's also talking more about creativity, artistry, feeling poetic and dreamy, and enjoying that creative energy as it flows. Now, if you have not followed the advice of the King of Cups, if you remain cold and indifferent and rigid and emotionless and like blocked within, then this can become a very negative card, where it's talking about confusion and illusion. It's the confusion and illusion card, basically, or that's one of the things it can be. Also, working without getting paid, or working without getting the recognition for the hard work that you've done, being overlooked and exploited. It can be a card of emotional chaos, emotional problems, almost like you can't hold in and suppress your emotions forever. Sooner or later they have to surface. So if that's been happening, then that's more or less what is likely to happen about a week or two into the month. Now, both the Seven of Cups and the Moon card are cards indicating vampirism. So there may be people around you, again, if you're not careful, who feel like parasites to you, like they're sucking the life out of you. And that's a very real possible concern. There are people that we can encounter in life that, if we're not careful, will just drain us, and they do it in such a tricky and deceptive way that we don't even notice that it's happening until we're in so deep that it can often be very difficult to get out of. So, just be aware of that. no one's perfect. If you find that you're not feeling very good early on in the month, you know, and there are people around you that seem questionable, um, like there's something not right about them, and you feel drained by them, just be aware of that. Vast majority of the time, it's an issue associated with them, not an issue associated with you, and you'll want to distance yourself from those people and, again, focus on the advice of the King of Cups, feeling more like allowing your emotional well-being and harmony and your creativity and your vision and your belief in yourself and your ideals. So that about covers it for that card. Now, your attitude or position on the situation, we have the Five of Pentacles. So this, even if, I've got to tell it like it is, even if you've been more or less in a state of emotional well-being, even for those of you, this could still be a bit of a downturn, because the Five of Pentacles is a card about poverty and financial problems. Now, this isn't necessarily reflecting any actual reality, keep in mind. This is how you're feeling, your attitude or position on the situation. So you're feeling impoverished, you're feeling quite possibly overworked, quite possibly like you don't have the energy to keep on working for the material security that you're trying to get through your work. You don't want to spend a lot of money right now. In fact, you might not want to spend any money. You might be afraid of financial ruin, financial crisis. Now, again, this is going to vary in intensity depending on your particular situation and how basically emotionally healthy or emotionally unhealthy you are by this point in the month, which is about halfway through the month. But even if regardless, basically it's a passing thing, and as long as you do your best to stay in that healthy emotional state, we do have a good outcome here, like the Moon card. The Moon card does not always mean hidden enemies and fear and anxiety. That's just part of what it can mean, and we're going to get more into that. For the outside force coming in, you have the Five of Cups. Now, this is a card of disappointment and lost love, the end of a relationship, sorrow, dejection. So remember, this is the outside force coming in, so this could be something that happens that disappoints you, basically. And again, it's going to be worse if you're in like a negative state. It's going to be not so bad if you're in a more positive state. But it's something that happens more outside you, but it's still energy that you have to move through and pass through. So just keep that in mind. Now, for those of you who are, especially for those of you who are in a more positive state, the Five of Cups is very interesting because there are three cups in front of him that are knocked over, and that's what he appears to be focused upon, this figure in the card. But there are two cups right behind him that are upright. That seems to imply he's only focused on his failures. He's not realizing that he still has some successes. Furthermore, there is a bridge here, and there's what appears to be some kind of safe domicile or shelter, basically. And it's like if he would just look up and or over, he would see these things and see that basically not all is lost, first of all, and the safety and security that he seeks is right around the corner. So this is really like the not all is lost card. That's how I often see it and interpret it. So again, it comes back to maintaining your belief in yourself and in things working out for you. So remember, if something disappointing happens later in the month, not all is lost. That's what this card is saying. This also might be something, since it's the outside force coming in, that happens to someone else, someone around you who maybe experiences a loss of some kind, and you're just feeling sad for them. You're picking up on that energy somewhat. So, another thing to keep in mind. For your hopes or fears, you have Temperance reversed. This is again talking about how you're afraid to spend money right now. You're afraid of not having enough money, afraid of a financial crisis or financial issues. You might also be concerned, particularly if you're in a more negative emotional state, that more bad luck and ill fortune could come your way. You might also be concerned about the people around you, like afraid of drama with other people, accusation, blame, suspicion, that sort of thing. But then, what you're hoping for, because that was what you are afraid of. What you're hoping for is what this card means upright. The more positive meanings, the idealism, the belief in yourself, prosperity, and wealth and happiness, and being in balance, having strong ideals, having a real grasp on the meaning of life and the purpose of your existence. You're hoping to maintain, like I said earlier, that belief in yourself. Like, you're afraid, on one hand, you may be afraid of your expectations being shattered, especially your expectations of the natural way of things, like things working out for you. You're afraid, on one hand, of things not working out the way that you think they're supposed to. But on the other hand, you're hoping that you can maintain that belief, that knowing that no matter what happens, it is all working out for you eventually, in the end. It is all working out for you one way or another. You're trying to hold on to that knowing, that deep inner knowing. Now this card, when it's not reversed, when the energy is not blocked, again, it's also about like philosophy and meaning and purpose. And so, you might be feeling introspective, as also can be indicated by the King of Cups, and searching within for the meaning of life, the meaning of perhaps what you're experiencing now. So, that brings us at last to the outcome card, the Moon. One more time, if you've been following the advice of the King of Cups this month, staying in that state of emotional well-being and harmony and alignment, then this is going to be a very good card for you. It's going to be an outcome of feeling very spiritual and calm and serene, feeling like you have the safety and security that you want again. being at peace with whatever is happening in your life. It's the kind of calmness and stability of a very large but very still body of water, like a motionless ocean, an ocean without great waves, an ocean that is very calm but also very deep and serene. And again, the creativity angle as well. You know, especially if you are an artist of some kind, this will be your feeling, your creativity flowing, your artistry, your imagination, your deep inner vision for what can be. You'll be feeling that creative energy flowing, and it will be quite delightful, basically. Now, if you haven't been able to maintain a state of emotional well-being, if you've been feeling the coldness, the indifference, the lack of passion, the lack of curiosity, the inhibition and restriction and resistance, the blocked emotion, all of that, then the moon card here takes on a very negative connotation at the end of the month. And it talks about fear and anxiety, suspicion of other people who may not be what they seem, more confusion and illusion like we had back here, people talking behind your back, things going on in the shadows that are not good. Whether it's real or whether it's imagined, it's saying that you may be likely, if you haven't followed the advice of the King of Cups, you'll be likely to have that fear and suspicion that those kinds of immoral acts are going on, and that maybe people might be out to get you, like a sense of paranoia. And people trying to suck the life out of you and drain you. It can also be like pessimism and sorrow and depression. And so really something to keep in mind, if you don't follow the advice of the King of Cups, this month can go in a very different direction, where it ends with your feeling fear and anxiety and being in a state of illusion and suspicion of other people, and those people maybe are rightly suspect because you might attract them by your very negative emotional state. So, I'm not saying any of this to scare any of you. I'm saying it to empower you so you can do your best from early on, from the start, to just let your natural emotional well-being flow as best you can without trying too hard at it, without worrying about it too much, just making peace with things as best you can, so that, early in the month, the middle of the month, and the end of the month, even though the middle of the month is a little harder to avoid, but definitely by the early and end of the month, you're feeling yourself and finding yourself in a very positive state, in that serene, calm, dreamy, creative, idealistic state of a belief in yourself and having faith in yourself and the knowing that things are working out for you. So that has been quite the spread this month, Scorpio. This one in particular really caught my attention this month so far in the spreads that I have done. Like this one has a lot of dynamics to it. You have a very interesting combination of energy this month, Scorpio. So you should feel special. Alright, so I hope you have a really great month regardless. Thank you for watching. This has been a tarot forecast for the sign of Scorpio from Poetic Heretic for the month of February 2017. Don't forget to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.